Hi YouTube. Today I will be talking to you about how darkness and light do work in unison and some of the problems that we've had that make us disbelieve the reason that they do. A long time ago, everything was put into place, i.e., balance, was put into place for a reason. That reason being that if the world was too light, it would be a little bit too overly positive and a little bit too sickly. And if it was too dark, well, use your imagination. The the reason why we don't hear a lot about light and dark working in unison is I do believe that a lot of it has been done sometimes by mistake because it's been lost through history, as well as some of it has been done deliberately. So to lead you away from true knowledge and true enlightenment. So now, so now what we have is we have people that only view things just in the physical or just on one side of the spectrum, on either side, whether you class yourself as light or dark. And from from my experience, a lot of people have asked their spirit guides, um, "Is it still a war?" But the problem with that is that it's um, an open-ended question. So if you were to if you were to ask an open-ended question, and you were to ask a soldier whether it is still a war, it may not be in the physical because it may have ended. However, does that person still remember that it was a war at one point, or was a silly little skirmish that broke out because someone said a hurtful word towards someone else and someone else had said a hurtful word towards them? And also, one of the one of many problems that we have, which is current at this time, most people only focus on what one article says or one book says and another book says. Like for example, if someone says war, people will take it literally. You can take the word war obviously however you want, but there are different layers of what is. Is it a war in your mind? Is it a war in the physical? Is it a war with yourself? Do you have problems with yourself that you constantly fight against yourself in order to be a better person? So then, when you focus on just what one article or one book says, and then when you see that in a physical, that you see a Christian or a Catholic or someone who is religious of the right hand path and someone who is of the left hand path arguing. So your automatic reaction will be, oh my God, it really is still a war. But that's the only thing that you're evaluating it on, is just the physical, which is obviously you're not to blame. So with that being said, I can actually see the other side as in both, like in the spiritual or the celestial form. I can see them like face palming really hard. And oh my God, guys, that really wasn't the point. Why are you doing this to yourself? Really, come on. When it comes down to it, you need to understand quite explicitly on both sides. So, light and dark, light worker, shadow worker, Christian, Catholic, so on and so forth. You need to understand that there's been manipulation by people on both sides. Yes, you will get some spirits that will say, yes, it's still a war, but it hasn't been, and it hasn't been for eons. But focus on the point that everyone has been manipulated, and the few that haven't, or that have been and realize that they've been um, manipulated, have now understood what was said, and it may have been an open, like an open answer. Main point is that everyone at some point has been manipulated. So you guys and girls out there, please understand that not every single one has the answer. It's a combined effort for us all to do. So if people understand that light workers, shadow workers, angels, um, elvens, negative entities, demons, this and that, everyone has a difficult job because they are, depending on the person that you are, will be able to teach you something and give you knowledge and enlightenment. But they can't do it alone. They need each other. And the reason why they need each other is because I can't always see it. I can't see everything coming. I can see the majority, but that's why they need each other. Like you need your brother or sister, or you need someone that is like a brother or a sister. So this is the reason why we have the saying, one hand washes the other. So from my experience, the lighter side of the dark side, stay with me, I know, can can help you a lot because they are not that dark that they are, like their mind is clouded and they can't function right. They can be protective. They can help you ascertain certain knowledge, what you want to gain, but they'll also show you what will make you think outside of the box and become a better person. And it is the same on the light side as well. And then you have the lower ones that are a bit more calmer, that don't sort of teach you full on. They're like a bullet to gate. So please take in mind not to tar everyone with the same brush because that's what's happened for centuries, right? Because contrary to most belief, spirits, entities, deities, and celestial beings as a whole, they do have feelings. So if you want to work with them, be polite, be kind. But if obviously that entity, deity, or celestial being comes towards you with a little bit of like aggression, well, you know what to do. Now, at first glance, most people only see light and dark because that's how you've been like pre-programmed from for like thousands of years. But if you zoom in a little bit, just a little bit, you will understand there are more layers on both sides. And it's like, okay, it's like if you go to, I don't know, to like a metal concert and you assume that everyone that's at that metal concert is a devil worshipper and is going to be horrible towards you. But then when you actually go there, they're not actually that horrible at all. I know this because I come from the metal scene, as in I hail from the metal scene. It's what I grew up with, the music that I've listened to for a long time, and I still listen to it now. but I also listen to mainstream music as well, and I understand from different perspectives how people feel and think about other people. But the task at hand, focus and zoom in and understand, not judge. Because if you zoom in and you start to understand, you'll be able to learn a lot better. Doors will open for you. But if you stay in the same perspective, than just saying that a door is a door. Sometimes you need to know where that door came from, what wood it's made from, etc., etc. I don't blame people for only viewing things in just light and dark. Because obviously, if you read an article or you Google something or even YouTube something, the only thing that you can normally find about any subject is the extreme light or the shadow aspect or the extreme dark, or what people perceive to be the extreme dark. Now, I know that recently a lot of people have been divulging their own personal experiences, that it's not as dark as what people believe. So, part and parcel of the reason why I've started this YouTube channel is to put my own perspective out there, to help you guys that are on YouTube understand whether you are someone that is just starting out in the spiritual aspect. You can learn a lot from people, and that's why I'm putting this information out there. There's more than meets the eye. You can learn so much, and yeah, it's so beautiful. It really is. It's really warming and heartfelt, and I really enjoy doing spiritualism, and I couldn't be anything else. I couldn't be normal. That's not me. I Yeah, I can't do that. So, however, when I was younger, I used to think like a lot of other people, which was like light and dark, boys on one side, girls on the other. But then as you progress, and then you realize that not everything is as what it seems, you get a sense of relief. And I know a lot of people sigh like really heavily. It's like, oh my God, I am so glad that I can actually relax around you. I am so glad that I don't have to like hold my barriers up so high. And that moment when people realize and they can come together without any arguments or eggshells or red tape or anything like that, that right there, that in itself is unity. That's beautiful. And I like to see that. And I like to be a part of it. How I've come to understand a lot of perspectives in life is because a lot of people that I've worked with and I've known are either Christian, Catholic, pagan, Wiccan, satanic, Buddhist, and probably so many other different paths all in between. Can't really I can't really say that I've had any um, like Luciferian friends, but maybe that will change, and I hope it changes for everyone. That you can go out and you can befriend someone that is pagan, that is Wiccan, that is Christian, Catholic, and no matter what path they choose, whether it's left hand path or right hand path, and not judge them. Honestly, not judge them for who they are, because that's what it's about. is being able to get on with your fellow brothers and sisters. Let's just say that you are a person that really doesn't understand anything about, like, people make choices on what paths to go, and because you either know that something's wrong or someone has told you that that path is wrong. What you need to understand is everyone is an individual. Everyone is unique. Yes, they might follow a certain path, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they're evil. That doesn't necessarily mean that they're a devil worshipper. It doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to sacrifice a chicken to KFC or a cow to McDonald's. Get my point? And everyone has their own reason for picking a certain path. So instead of judging someone on how they look, try and understand them a little bit better. Try and understand them by going up and asking them and being polite, but also not being a creep. Like, excuse me, sir, excuse me, madam, do you mind if I ask you a few questions? Without trying to preach your views. Talk to them on a level. Talk to them like as if you would a family member that you actually get on with, or someone who you see as a brother or sister that you get on with, right? Because if you make people feel at ease, then more than likely they will at least acknowledge your existence. And what you also need to remember is, because I've done this as well, and yeah, I've really hated myself for it. I have judged other people in the past. But what I didn't realize was by me judging other people, I'm actually judging my reflection. I'm judging myself, whether it be male or female. I am judging my family. So if you look at it like as if someone is your family, you will probably treat them a lot better than what you would if they were strangers, right? Now, I hate to break it to you, that's what we are, right? And just to add a little bit more onto that is, if you could go back in time and talk to yourself and warn yourself of either possible dangers or mistakes, would you do that? Yeah, of course you would. So just remember that when you are talking to someone, whatever feelings, emotions you have, they will reflect it back at you if you come at them in that way. If you say, excuse me, in, I don't know, in the coffee shop, then people are like, oh, I'm sorry. But if you go, motherfucker, move out of the way, what do you think the reactions are going to be? Because those people who you are talking to, you may not understand what they've been through in their life. They could have been through like a lot of hardship. So they might be really, um, really gritty, and um, they could probably be very difficult to talk to. Just have patience, relax. They're probably not used to people being nice, or they'll think the opposite, which is, oh, if he's being nice, what does he, she want with me? What are they trying to sell me? What are they after? Please take that in mind. As one of many reasons, the way people act in that way is because they automatically know that the way society has been built, they will be rejected for who they are. So it doesn't matter whether someone is Luciferian, satanic, Buddhist. Obviously, most Buddhists you don't have a problem with because they're really peaceful. But there's always someone out there be like, those guys are really too positive. I don't like that. And then with the Christians, and the Catholics, pagans and Wiccans, everyone combined, because they know at least at some point someone will reject them for what they are and what they're about. They could be gay and someone will be like, oh my god, that's so evil. They could be lesbian and they'll be like, oh my god, that's so evil. Is it? Really? Try and understand what people have been through in their life. However, what I've noticed over, say, the last, oh, 5 years plus, I've noticed a lot of people becoming more spiritually aware and starting to question a lot of things as well. Now, I really like that because that means people are thinking outside the box and they're leaving their comfort bubble or their comfort zone. I like that. And if it was me and I was in charge of the education system, put I would put paganism into the religious section of school. I also put a lot of other things in there as well. So you have more choice of following something that suits you instead of just going with the flow, which is just going with the masses. But what people need to understand is when you do start to wake up, so on and so forth, and start questioning things, what happens is your mind will be like that of a child. So your mind will be malleable again. And then that's when you start seeing all this crap about Illuminati and about this, devil this, and Satan that, and so on and so forth. Now, I'm not saying that's wrong. What I'm saying is be careful that you don't get sucked into a void. Because guess who else almost got sucked into the void, right? I'm speaking from experience. That's why I'm here. And also, people like to play games a lot. They like to twist things. They like to give you some truth and the rest to be lies. So it's a game to them. So you would have to figure out the rest of it for yourself. I'm more of here is the problem, there is a solution. If you keep doing the problem, you will always have this outcome. Always. I don't beat around the bush. Now, I would advise a lot of people that are starting out in the spiritual path, should we say. And you can go to certain people if you want like a one-on-one or a group, if you want to learn in a group. And there are also books that you can read if you are a reader. And there's obviously YouTube, because there's a lot of information out there. But obviously, you need to be careful with some groups because they have a focal point or they have a specific agenda or something that resonates with them or the person that started it. So if you're going to go to a group, just be very, very careful about what you're getting yourself into. Because if it's all secrets and no one really knows what goes on behind closed doors, then you can pretty much guarantee that something may be a little bit awry. Not everything is going to be bad, but you're going to need to ask that person, I need you to be honest with me. If I go into this group, am I going to be okay? Am I going to be safe and sound? Or are you going to manipulate me? Obviously, not everyone's going to tell you yes or no. Because again, people like to play games. But when it comes down to you speaking to people in general, just use common sense. That's the reason why it's there. Listen to your gut feeling. Listen to your intuition. That's why you have it. Something doesn't feel right, it's generally because something might not be right. or it could be that you're overthinking that something is going to be wrong. But take into consideration that everyone has free will, and you can utilize that whenever you so wish. You can leave at any point. Don't let anyone ever tell you any different. And also, don't get drawn into the whole, oh my god, it's still a war. It really isn't. And it hasn't been for eons. Okay? Trust me. I know. See, both sides, light and dark, keep repeating the same thing. Or people keep regurgitating the same thing over and over again. So it's like beating a dead horse. And that is the cycle that needs to stop. Because, for example, many moons ago, I I used to watch a lot of YouTube as well as read some articles, and it was, oh, go and read this article because this can tell you how to do this. So I did, and it didn't tell me anything. Like, okay, so I've just wasted, I don't know, say 15-20 minutes reading that article. I want my 20 minutes back. The main point is both sides have got a retention of information that can help each other out. Even if it's just you being nice to someone can help them out. It's called having common decency, because a lot of people tend to have this superstition that is if someone or a book has got a pentagram or a pentacle on the book, then people assume that it's evil. Or if someone's wearing a cross, that they naturally assume that that person is going to be like a complete and utter like Jesus nut, or someone's going to be a devil worshipper, or something along those lines. Come on, people, think about it. You can do it. I believe in you. If you strip away the imagery, not all imagery you can get rid of, but if you can strip the majority of the imagery away, as well as some of the harmful words or words that get you to do harmful actions, and then what is it that you've got? Yes, you've got words, but what I mean is you've got knowledge. That's what you've got. And knowledge is power, because it helps you understand. But power isn't everything. Just having common decency for your fellow man is. So from ages gone by, one of the main issues that I've seen, I've read about, is someone will get jealous of someone else. Is why does he or she think that they are better than us? Why is their deity, their god, their goddess better than ours? Come on, really? Who cares? Who cares what deity someone talks to? It's them. It's their choice. It's their path. You cannot interfere with people's path. You can guide them in the right direction and you can advise them, but you can't interfere. So now staying on like the same like topic as in ages gone by, um, religious texts have been changed throughout history, because most common mistake that I've noticed with a lot of people who don't really understand religion. Now I know this is a trigger point for most people, but Bear with me a moment, and I'll keep it simple. Most people think that the knowledge that was passed down to us was written by, or the Bible was written by God and was literally passed to man. No. What is the book a symbol of? Knowledge. What happened? A deity or celestial being had spoken to someone who was spiritual, that was either known as a conduit, a seeker, whichever, and misinterpreted that information because he or she wasn't ready for that amount of downloadable information, right? Sometimes it's a little bit too much. But if you research, you will see that kings, queens, popes have changed religious texts either for money or political gain. They haven't changed it for your advancement, that's what they say. But there's an underlying current there, which is political advantage. But most of the time, when you watch anything, even televangelists, if you want to get close to this, you buy this DVD and you buy this book. But everyone's like that. It's the same in the lighter side. Oh my God, if you want to work with angels, you really need to read this book, or you need to watch this DVD. And it's the same on the other side. If you want to get closer to Satan, you need to buy this book. Do you remember earlier on when I said about manipulation on both sides? Right there. As long as you understand that in brief, this is what's happened. Okay, so um, most people only really believe, well, oh God. The only problem with most people, including myself, which I've done this, is I've I've believed everything that I've read in the newspaper. Yeah, read between the lines. But if you really want to learn something, you're gonna need to branch out and expand your mind, because that's what life is about: learning, understanding each other. So yeah, as I said before, you can either ask for guidance from certain people, or you can do it yourself, depending on the person that you are. If you are that type of person that if you read a book and you will believe everything that that book says, then I would advise you to go and join a group or make new friends to get a different perspective. If you're not, then great. So it doesn't matter what spectrum that you're in, but you really need to listen to yourself. What is best for me? And remember, everyone, balance is key. That's the most important thing in life, is to be balanced. Not saying that it is easy at all. Really not saying that it's easy. And unity between the two is what I call for. Because I've had enough of listening to people starting arguments over what? Over books that were written thousands of years ago? Over an opinion? This really needs to stop. Okay, folks, that's it for today. I know I've waffled on a lot, but it needed to be said. In my next video, I will be talking more about entities, deities, and celestial beings. As a whole, I will briefly go over some, and I will try and help you understand why people choose those deities as well as if those entities or celestial beings do come to you of their own free will and they're not negative, well, use your imagination. I'm not going to spoil too much, but I hope that you have a pleasant day, ladies and gentlemen of the audience. Have a splendiferous day. This is your boy, Guardian of Light, signing out.